The day before the wedding, I received a wedding poster and invitation featuring my fiancé and someone else. I calmly proposed breaking up with him, and the wedding planner Joyce called me in tears, begging me not to be angry. "Sister Iris, it's all my fault, the staff accidentally put my name and photo as the bride. Please don't argue with Brother Leon." Before I could respond, Leon took the phone on the other end and began aggressively blaming me. "Can't you be more magnanimous? As long as the bride is you, it doesn't matter whose name or photo is on the wedding poster and invitation. Don't make things difficult for Joyce, she didn't do it on purpose." Later, I magnanimously gave up the bride's position, but he regretted it. Just because of this trivial matter? Yes, just because of this trivial matter. As soon as Leon entered the house, he saw that the decorated wedding room had been dismantled by me one by one. He subconsciously frowned with a cold face and began questioning me. It seemed as if I wasn't his girlfriend of many years, but rather his subordinate or even an outsider. "Iris, we're about to get married, can't you behave yourself? I picked out another wedding dress for you, do you like it?" Leon approached me, looking down at me with suppressed impatience in his eyes. I knew this was Leon softening towards me. However, this time I didn't want to yield. I merely glanced at it, then turned away, ignoring him and focusing on packing my things. "A strapless wedding dress, I don't like it, and it's a style I can't wear," which he has always known. Leon gradually lost patience with me, threw the wedding dress on the ground, and grabbed my hand. "Do you have to be so petty? Joyce didn't do it on purpose. It's just a small matter. Because of you, she almost lost her job. What more do you want? You have no tolerance at all, how can you be Mrs. Leon?" I looked at him calmly with an even tone. "Did you choose this wedding dress?" A flicker of guilt appeared in his eyes but quickly vanished. "Joyce chose it, I don't understand women's things. Besides, she's the wedding planner, so her taste must be good. What's wrong with that? What about the invitations and posters? Iris, what are you fussing about?" I pried open his hand and said faintly while looking at him, "I'm not fussing about anything, let's break up." Leon's face immediately darkened terribly, with furrowed brows and a sharp gaze that made one dare not look directly. "Iris, what kind of bad temper are you throwing? You're almost 30, can't you be more mature? Just because of a small matter, you want to break up? The wedding matters aren't for you to handle, it's all between me and Joyce. We're working ourselves to death, while you comfortably lie at home, yet you still stir up trouble out of nothing? So, call her now and apologize, after all, she's been busy with our wedding these days." After hearing his words, I laughed in extreme anger. "Apologize? Does she deserve it? I paid to hire her, it's her work mistake, yet you want me to apologize to her? Leon, are you blind and heartless? In that case, you can hold tomorrow's wedding with her. After all, the wedding posters and invitations are ready, so as not to waste them. Half a year ago, I hired Joyce from the wedding company as our wedding planner. At first, she was diligent and dutiful. But I don't know when it started, Joyce began making decisions without consulting me, changing the things I liked to what she preferred. And my fiancé not only didn't find it inappropriate but repeatedly indulged her. He said, 'White roses and red roses are both roses, why go through the trouble to change them again? These are all harmless small matters, don't make things difficult for a recent graduate.' I compromised time and time again. Only now do I realize that these were not small matters at all. Anything that makes one uncomfortable should not be considered trivial. But Leon never understood, and I realized it too late. I've already forgotten what my mood was like when I received the wedding poster of Leon and Joyce today. Heartache? Anger? Neither, it was a fleeting numbness and relief. His attitude towards me on the phone made me feel as if the upcoming wedding was between him and Joyce. And my years of devotion to him seemed like a joke. In that case, I'll fulfill their wishes and voluntarily withdraw. In the silence, I had already packed my luggage and stood at the door. He loosened his tie, suppressing his anger. "Iris, you have no job, average looks, and poor abilities, how will you survive if you leave me?" I gripped the doorknob, pausing my steps for a moment. I straightened my back, but tears suddenly poured down. So in Mr. Leon's eyes, I'm so unbearable, a parasite that must depend on you to survive? Then this parasite will start fending for itself from now on, whether I live or die has nothing to do with you. I met Leon when I was 13, reunited with him in another place at 23, officially got together at 26, and at 30, he proposed, and we set the wedding date. Like most ordinary couples, we stumbled along the way. I never thought that one day I would initiate a breakup with him. In my youth, because he promised me a home, I, who lacked love since childhood, was moved and fell for him. But years later, that promise pierced my heart like a sharp sword. After loading all my luggage into the taxi, the sky suddenly poured with heavy rain. Thunderstorms are the weather I fear the most. My mother left me by jumping from the building on such a stormy day. And in the past, on every such rainy night, Leon would accompany me. I once depended on him immensely. But now, I don't need it anymore. The taxi carried me into the pouring rain. I stared at the waterfall-like streams on the car window, lost in thought. I don't know when they started, perhaps it was when I began hearing Joyce's name frequently from Leon's mouth. Or maybe when he started arguing with me often because of Joyce and then left me during thunderstorms to go find her. Or perhaps it was Joyce's social media filled with Leon's presence everywhere, sometimes a pair of distinct knuckled hands, sometimes a handsome profile. Or maybe that strapless wedding dress. I couldn't help but smile bitterly. Leon forgot that I have a long scar on my chest and only dare to wear round-neck clothes. He forgot so quickly, even though the scar was from saving him. That year, he was plotted against by rivals. They were about to stab him with a knife, and I selflessly blocked it, taking the stab for him. From then on, he cherished me deeply. Every time he saw this scar, he would kiss it with reddened eyes, then whisper repeatedly in my ear that he would love me forever, marry me, and make me the happiest bride in the world. But in the end, he broke his word. He even complained to Joyce that the scar on my chest was ugly and appetizing, making him lose desire to sleep with me. Until the appearance of that poster photo, for a moment, I felt liberated and relieved. Upon careful thought, what kills the camel is never just the last straw. But fortunately, it's not too late to turn back now. I found a hotel to stay temporarily for one night, planning to look for a house tomorrow. The next morning, I was awakened by an intense ringtone. In my sleepy haze, I pressed the answer button. Leon's thunderous irritable voice came from the phone, startling me and making me more awake. "Iris, are you crazy? Have you forgotten that today is our wedding day? I give you 10 minutes to get here, or face the consequences." I cursed inwardly, thinking he's neurotic. Leon is too arrogant. Even now, he still thinks I'm just throwing a tantrum with him. It's really speechless. "Leon, are you deaf? I've already proposed breaking up. Do you understand the words break up? Iris, haven't you made enough fuss? Joyce said she won't hold it against you and wants to apologize. How long are you going to be unrelenting? There are plenty of women who want to marry me. It's not like it has to be you. Get over here immediately. Grandma has a weak heart, you know that. If something happens to her because of anger, I won't forgive you." He hung up aggressively, giving me no chance to explain or struggle. I can disregard Leon, but I can't ignore Leon's grandma. She is one of the few in the Leon family who treats me the best. After thinking, I decided to go to the wedding venue. I should at least put a perfect end to this relationship and give an explanation to Leon's grandma. When I arrived at the wedding venue, it was already at the stage where the groom kisses the bride. Joyce was wearing that strapless wedding dress tailored for her, with a face-veiling veil, smiling radiantly at Leon. Leon glanced at me standing below the stage, smirked mockingly, lifted her veil, and directly kissed Joyce's lips. How to describe my feelings at that moment seeing this scene, the boy I liked from age 13 to 30, now kissing another woman at what was supposed to be my wedding venue. Suddenly, I realized that the person who troubled me for over a decade no longer mattered. Beyond that, I felt nothing else. Once, at 13, my wish was to grow up and marry Leon. Now at 30, I'm glad I didn't marry him. After their wedding ceremony finished, reporters eagerly crowded forward. "Mr. Leon, I remember the one marrying you today isn't the one beside you, why the sudden change? Mr. Leon, you kissed the lady beside you, what is your relationship with her? Is it because of this lady beside you that Miss Iris didn't come? Several reporters' sharp questions bombarded him, giving him no chance to speak. These questions were indirectly asking Leon if Joyce was the mistress and if I didn't come because of her. Leon responded calmly, the one beside me is the wedding planner for this event, we were just rehearsing earlier. The kiss earlier was just part of the rehearsal, merely a staged position, everyone, don't overinterpret. The bride has arrived, please give us some time to prepare. His lips curved up in a mocking smile, with a hint of cunning and unruliness as he looked at me. He took me backstage and said to me as if nothing happened, this is the consequence of your disobedience. Alright, since you're here, quickly thank Joyce, if not for her stepping in at the critical moment, our Leon family would have become the laughingstock of Hong Kong. I remained silent, just staring intently into his eyes. I don't know if Leon has a heart, how could he be so shameless? He kissed another woman and then casually asked me to continue the wedding with him. Staged position? That's only to fool 3-year-olds. I'm a person, not an insensate plant. He trampled on my dignity like this, I had no need to stay any longer. Originally planning to part amicably, suddenly I felt that never seeing each other again until death was also fine. Seeing me turn to leave, Leon called out displeased, Iris, stop right there. His gaze was cold, is one small matter worth it, making a fuss until now? Today is our wedding day, do you have to make everyone unhappy? I really didn't want to hear such words anymore. Me making a fuss? Small matter? I looked at him with disgust. So in your eyes, kissing another woman in front of me and all the guests is a small matter? Then tell me what is a big matter. Leon, you really disgust me. After hearing my words, he was stunned for a moment, perhaps not expecting me to say that. I couldn't be bothered to deal with him anymore. After walking a few steps, Joyce, wearing the wedding dress, grabbed my hand, pretending to be intimate, but I didn't ignore the provocation in her eyes. She said to me in a voice only we could hear. I heard your mother committed suicide by jumping off a building, head first, like a smashed watermelon. Thinking about it is really disgusting. Leon said you're just like your mom, a lunatic. I stood there dazed, my body trembling uncontrollably, my eyes turning bloodshot. I never dreamed that one day Leon would tell others about my mother's incident as if it were a joke. How dare he? If not for my mom, he would have starved to death on the streets long ago. I thought after going through so much and seeing each other's most embarrassing sides. Even if we separated one day, we wouldn't use those unbearable past events as weapons to stab each other's wounds. I slapped her face hard twice, she dramatically fell backward, crying out in pain. Since she was asking for it, I'd oblige. Leon reacted soon after, carefully helping Joyce up. She cried pitifully, I just wanted to apologize to Sister Iris for stepping in earlier. I know she's dissatisfied with me, so I wanted to explain properly, who knew she? Leon glared at me viciously, gritting his teeth, Iris, get over here and apologize to Joyce. Clearly, you were late and didn't take this wedding seriously, and now you're playing this jealousy game, how cheap are you? If you don't apologize to Joyce today, I'll cancel the wedding immediately and announce our breakup in public. He was certain I couldn't leave him, certain I'd beg for forgiveness humbly as usual. But this time I wouldn't, never again. I looked at Leon and smiled. Under his stunned gaze, I picked up the microphone and said directly, today, I ask the media to witness, Iris, and Leon have broken up. From now on, we go our separate ways in marriage without interference. I stepped off the stage and said apologetically to Leon's grandma, Grandma, I'm sorry, I've let down your intentions. Leon and I really can't continue. I thought she would blame me, but instead, she held my hand tightly, trembling slightly. Iris, it's our Leon family that has wronged you and your mother. We owe your family a debt we can never repay. Whatever decision you make, Grandma supports you. Leon's grandma is a reasonable person. Unknowingly, my eyes reddened. I left the scene, with reporters chasing after me asking questions. Miss Iris, you and Mr. Leon have been loving for many years. Why did the relationship break? Is it because of a third party? Miss Iris, for this breakup, how much breakup fee did Mr. Leon give you? Mr. Leon, Miss Iris broke up with you. What do you have to say? I remained silent and directly hid in the taxi. Leon, this is the last dignity I give you. From the car window, I saw Leon belatedly chasing out with the reporters. Ridiculously, this time his face showed no impatience towards me, replaced by panic and reluctance. He pushed through the crowd, shouting my name loudly, telling me not to leave. But it was all too late. From the moment Leon started hurting me bit by bit for another woman, it was already too late. Between us this time, there is absolutely no future. After breaking up with Leon, I didn't stay in Hong Kong. After all, it's not my home. Instead, I returned to Yun City. Over these years with Leon, to be honest, he was quite generous to me. The balance in the card, if I don't make messy investments, is enough for me to live worry-free for the rest of my life. I wouldn't be foolish enough to leave with nothing after breaking up with Leon. Before leaving, Leon came to me once, basically saying he disagreed with the breakup and begged for forgiveness. Later, upon learning I was leaving, he became somewhat angry from embarrassment. Iris, you're as selfish as ever. Why did you have to make such an ugly scene at the wedding yesterday? Now the whole Hong Kong sees us as a joke. Are you satisfied? I didn't cheat. How am I the joke? He was stunned, then sat dejectedly on the sofa. As if confiding in me or talking to himself. You don't understand. Joyce's appearance made me feel like I was alive again. My life suddenly gained youth and vitality. I thought I had prepared myself mentally long ago, that my heart wouldn't hurt, and I should accept it all calmly. When Leon really admitted to cheating, my heart still ached subconsciously. But it was only a fleeting ache. I didn't want to stay with him anymore and wanted to leave. But he yanked me back, pressing my face against the bathroom mirror. Iris, you're 30, you have wrinkles at the corners of your eyes, you're old, and so is your heart. Iris, being with you is like 45-degree boiled water, bland and tasteless. People like us, who are naturally calculating and gloomy, can't help but be attracted to innocence and beauty. Give me some more time, I'll handle her, and we can continue. I struggled free from him and slapped him hard. What was he trying to tell me? He just committed a mistake that all men make. What's his fault? Blame can only be on me for lacking charm, being old, and not putting effort to please him. What he meant was that the reason we've gotten to where we are today is not only because of him, but also largely because of me. It's because of my numerous constraints on him and my own self-interest. Joyce's appearance filled that void in his heart, which is why he was moved. Listening to his dozens of accusations against me, big and small, I didn't know that in Leon's eyes, I had so many flaws. But none of these were reasons for his betrayal. I know him too well, he's proud and can't tolerate lowering his head. So he went to great lengths to find faults in me, just to make himself feel better. Thinking about how I constrained and bound him, he likes thrilling sports, but I thought they were dangerous and forbade them. He likes drinking and staying up late. For his stomach and liver, I advised him to cherish his body. As for being old in his eyes? Does that mean Joyce is 23 and I'm 30? But I was young once too. Bad personality? Greedy for money, love calculating? But he forgot, when he met me, I was always like this. I've never changed. Seeing me remain silent, Leon started going crazy in front of me. I met you at 13, lived in your house for 3 years, then we fell in love and got engaged. Iris, do you have to make it so embarrassing? You think I'm dirty, do you think you're any cleaner? No wonder your mom committed suicide back then, you two are both lunatics. Leon's furious words stunned me in place. Some words, once exposed, are like lifting the blanket to reveal lice, densely disgusting. At 12, my father died unexpectedly, leaving my mother and me to depend on each other. At 13, Leon moved next door with his father, stepmother, and half-brother. This boy, a few months older than me, looked smaller, his body long-term thin and malnourished. Every late night, sounds of beating and scolding often came from next door, and Leon's face frequently had new injuries overlapping old ones. Half a month later, on a rainy late night, my mother brought the drenched Leon, who had been sitting at our door, into our home. From then on, our house had an extra set of bowl and chopsticks. The living room gained an extra desk, and the room an extra small bed, prepared by Mom for Leon who often couldn't enter his home. Gradually, this gloomy boy learned to smile and gained weight. At 14, his dad and stepmother quietly moved away with the other child, leaving only Leon behind. From that day, Leon became an official member of our family. Whatever I had, he would have a share. At 16, Mom jumped from the building. That's when I learned the term depression. I knew Mom never forgot Dad. She went to accompany him. The heavy rain washed the blood on the ground. I knelt crying, begging Mom to wake up. It was Leon who covered my eyes and dragged me away. It was he who told me repeatedly he would always accompany me. He is my family. That same year, Leon was found by the Leon family. Turns out he was their long-lost young master. Suddenly, I lost my mom and also Leon. I became an orphan. At 23, we met again. At 26, he confessed to me. At 30, he proposed. The person who once looked at me with eyes full of love is long gone. He humiliated me by reopening old wounds, simply because I exposed his cheating. Leon also realized his slip of tongue and quickly apologized to me. Iris, sorry, earlier I spoke without thinking. I just haven't accepted our relationship turning like this. Clearly, we have many beautiful memories. Leon, you should never have slandered my mother in front of Joyce. I will never forgive you in my lifetime. If Mom is watching from heaven, knowing she saved an ungrateful wolf who hurts her daughter like this, I think she would regret bringing you home that rainy night. I interrupted him directly. Leon's face turned pale, his body trembling uncontrollably. He panicked and held my hand. It's not like that, Iris, believe me, I was drunk and spoke carelessly, but I didn't cheat, I swear. I pried his fingers off one by one, calmly gazing into his eyes. Leon, what exactly counts as cheating? This half year, you and Joyce have been intimately close. Several times others thought you were a couple. After all, the wedding arrangements were based on Joyce's preferences, all with your tacit approval. Our relationship is like the strapless wedding dress you gave me, looks beautiful, but unfortunately unwearable. Since I took that knife for you, have you seen me wear low-neck clothes? He looked at me as if awakening from a dream, his face showing painful regret. Sorry, Iris, can you give me another chance? I'll personally arrange the wedding venue. This time, I'll definitely follow your preferences. I'll hire a famous designer for the wedding dress, definitely unique. Will you marry me again? I took a deep breath and slowly exhaled. Forget it. After saying this, he lowered his head, covering his face and crying, Iris, sorry, sorry. Leon left dejectedly, leaving a bank card before going. I didn't refuse. After Mom's death, this ground floor courtyard has been empty. It just needs simple cleaning and adding some furniture and daily necessities to move in. I cleaned the house inside and out by myself, then went to the flower, bird, fish, and insect market, returning loaded with spoils. Efficiently arranging all the flowers and plants, the goldfish also settled peacefully among the water lilies. The courtyard suddenly became vibrant. And my mood was good after a long time, more like a great relief. These years with Leon were really exhausting. Actually, this relationship was unequal from the start. I always uncontrollably wanted to be worthy of him. His stomach was bad. To make him eat well, I specially enrolled in a cooking class. He liked long curly hair but hated the oily smell on my hair. So year after year, every time after cooking, I had to wash my hair and bathe to stay clean. Now thinking back, when he first met me, I always had short hair. Finally, I don't have to get up at 6:30 without fail. No need to cater to Leon with Western breakfast every morning. Nor worry about when Leon will come back tonight. Now I can sleep until whenever I want. Then get up and cook myself a bowl of sour and spicy noodles. I can also binge-watch dramas until dawn, no longer anxiously wondering why Leon hasn't come home. During this time apart from Leon, his friends suddenly popped up like mushrooms after rain, messaging me. Iris, Leon really knows he was wrong, give him another chance. He drinks himself drunk every day for you, his stomach illness flared up and he's hospitalized, do you want to come back and see? That Joyce isn't with Leon. Seeing these messages, I had no emotional fluctuations. I directly blocked and deleted them. Those friends of his are birds of a feather with Leon. Joyce and Leon's relationship was no secret to them long ago. They all knew tacitly, I was the last to know. But now, I don't care anymore. But I didn't expect Leon to come to my door a month later. That day, humming a song, I squatted on the ground transplanting hydrangeas into a pottery jar, gently patting the soil. When I looked up, I saw Leon leaning at the courtyard door in a daze, not knowing how long he had been standing there. I stood up without going to the sink to wash my hands. Leon came in, picked up the watering can, and watered the hydrangeas. Iris, do you remember? I used this pottery jar to plant flowers before. Of course I remember. At that time, Leon planted flowers in the jar. I ate watermelon, lying on the rocking chair watching him. The sky above was blue, the courtyard had gentle breezes, and flower scents overflowed. Unfortunately, now things have changed and people are different. He looked at me affectionately, Iris, come back. I've rebooked the hotel and wedding venue. As for her, I never thought of being with her. Don't pretend to be affectionate here, leave. Don't force me to call the police. I mercilessly drove him away. Later, Leon came a few more times, but I still refused to see him. I don't know where Joyce got my home address. After meeting me, she started cursing loudly, then like a madwoman began smashing things in my courtyard. Iris, you mistress, I'm pregnant with Leon's child. I warn you to be sensible, otherwise. Otherwise what? I've already called the police, wait to explain your behavior to them. Joyce opened her mouth, looking at me in astonishment. She didn't expect me to call the police. She was immediately dumbfounded. Relying on her youth and beauty, she was arrogant, thinking I'd swallow my anger. I hadn't settled the last incident with her, and now she delivered herself to my door. I looked heartbroken at the flowers and plants she smashed in the courtyard. My disgust for Leon increased a bit more. Joyce and I were taken to the police station together. Leon received the police call and hurried over. He panicked and carefully checked if I was injured. Seeing I wasn't hurt, he sighed in relief. And Joyce, seeing Leon revolving around me, stamped her feet in anger and quickly grabbed his hand, coquettishly, "Brother Leon, care about me and the child in my belly, okay?" Leon furiously shook her off. "Joyce, can you stop talking nonsense? I only touched you once, and that was after you drugged me, how could it hit on the first try? I've already given you money, can you stop entangling me greedily?" Joyce, being said like that, immediately had red eyes, somewhat at a loss. Finally, Joyce apologized to me and compensated me with some money. Only then did I not pursue her responsibility. Before leaving, Leon wanted to send me back. Joyce squatted on the ground claiming stomach pain, wanting Leon to send her. I saw Leon's hesitation, found it disgusting, and didn't want to get involved with this dog couple's affairs. When I returned home, I bumped into Evan, who was about to go upstairs at the stairwell. The moment he saw me, he was surprised, then delighted upon realizing. "Iris, it's really you, I'm not seeing things." Seeing Evan, I was also surprised. "Evan, long time no see." After Mom's death, neighbor Aunt Lily pitied me and took care of me for a while. Evan is Aunt Lily's child, we grew up together, childhood sweethearts. He took good care of me and once confessed to me. But then Leon appeared midway, and I devoted myself entirely to him. Gradually, I lost contact with Evan. This time back, I originally wanted to visit Aunt Lily, only to learn she doesn't live here anymore. "Evan, how is Aunt Lily's health lately? I'll visit her another day." "She's fine, if Mom knows you're visiting, she'll be especially happy." I opened the door and invited Evan in to sit. He saw the mess in the courtyard and asked what happened. He also asked why I came back alone, why Leon didn't accompany me. I told Evan everything that happened recently in one go. My personality is reclusive, I have few friends, revolving around Leon all day. Before being with Leon, Evan was my friend. But later, Leon didn't like it and made me cut contact with him. After learning the details, Evan was angrier than me. I watched him curse for over 10 minutes, sweeping away the embarrassment and gloom from the police station, and I laughed out loud. Seeing me laugh, Evan laughed too, then he helped clean up the courtyard before leaving. Later, Leon called me a few times, nothing but apologies. I was already tired of hearing them. He told me Joyce wasn't pregnant at all, it was a lie, he had completely cut ties with her. Begging me to go back and marry him. I ignored him, directly blocked and deleted in one go. I had peace for a while. From then on, Evan came to see me every few days, sometimes bringing Aunt Lily. My little courtyard gradually became lively. Aunt Lily often teased me affectionately, "Iris, our Evan has liked you since childhood, we still keep your photos at home. That day you were watering flowers in the courtyard, he was pouring tea beside you, the tea overflowed and you didn't notice." Aunt Lily laughed until all her wrinkles spread. "Iris, look, Evan is not young anymore, still single, why not marry him, be my daughter-in-law? Rest assured, with me here, that stinky boy Evan will definitely treat you well. We won't have mother-in-law daughter-in-law conflicts. Anyway, you two played house since childhood, he always was your groom, no one could take it away. Evan is very good to me. Even if I'm slow, I can feel his feelings for me are different. But I just went through a failed relationship. Evan deserves better. Auntie, I don't know anything, low education, no special skills. Evan is so excellent, his future girlfriend will definitely be excellent too." I smiled, this is what Leon often told me. Over time, I accepted it. "Who said that?" Evan's voice came from outside the courtyard. "Iris, you're great, don't belittle yourself." "I'm great?" He pushed open the courtyard door and began listing my strengths. "You can raise fish and flowers, any plant in your hands, you can keep alive. And the food you make is as good as what's sold outside, even better. Your spreadsheets are well done, last time you helped me a lot." Under Evan's various praises, my mood improved and I became more confident. Aunt Lily also started praising me. "When I first saw you, you were always frowning, such a pretty girl should smile more. Look at you now, smiling so beautifully, you look much better overall." Evan and Aunt Lily's words were like sunshine after rain, clouds dispersing, the sun peeking from the clouds. That day, Evan confessed to me. I opened my heart and chatted with him all night, and agreed. He told me if he had known earlier that Leon treated me badly, he would have snatched me away. In autumn, Evan and I got married. He was happy like a child in the courtyard. In the heat of affection, he lowered his head and kissed me. I closed my eyes, immersed in it. Leon stood outside the courtyard, the roses in his hand fell to the ground, petals scattered. Somewhat emotionally out of control, he stepped forward to drag me away. "Iris, come with me. We'll get married now, first get the certificate, hold the wedding tomorrow. I really cut ties with Joyce, I swear from now on, I'll only have you as my woman." Seeing this, Evan quickly protected me like an eagle shielding its chick. "She won't go back with you, we've already gotten the certificate, and we'll soon hold the banquet, you can come drink a cup of our wedding wine then." I knew Evan was deliberate, but I didn't stop him. Leon was completely stunned, full of disbelief. "Go back. I'm already married, don't come find me again." He wanted to say something, but I already pulled Evan inside without looking back, leaving Leon alone in the courtyard to grieve. We once loved each other, but he destroyed this relationship with his own hands. I only hope from now on, we each cherish ourselves and never meet again. Extra, Iris and Evan held their wedding. Actually, for Evan, this wedding budget was already high. 9,999 white roses and a non-strapless wedding dress, all what Iris likes. Others sighed at his deep affection. Iris cried fiercely at the wedding. When I proposed to her back then, she didn't cry this much. She also said, "Thank you to my husband for everything he's done for me." Listening below, I only felt it piercing. I think I've treated Iris well these years, never skimping on food, drink, or expenses. In our circle, who doesn't have 10 or 8 lovers? But I was only obsessed and kept Joyce for a while. Since breaking up with Iris, I cut contact with her and have been celibate until now. I don't believe Evan is as good as Iris says. All men are cats that steal fish, as long as there's money, they'll go bad. So I privately invested in his company. Evan's company grew bigger and richer. In this circle, temptations are many naturally. I don't believe he can emerge from mud unstained. Then Iris will see his true face and return to my side. But in the blink of an eye, 10 years passed. Evan didn't take a single wrong step. Iris gave him a daughter, practically a mini Iris. I'm jealous to madness. Now the second child is born, a boy. Evan and Iris now have both son and daughter. And I'm still alone, lonely till old age. It was I who lost the person I once loved most, and who loved me most. If I could go back, I would tell that 13-year-old boy, grow up and must marry Iris, treat her well for life, never lose her again.